Thank you, Dara. So, as you say yourself, a win is a win, and this is the table now. Group B looks like this after today's game. Ireland's victory moves them back up to second. Russia's 1-0 win in Slovakia means they're all but assured of topping the group and therefore automatic qualification. Slovakia are out of contention, meaning it all comes down to Tuesday night for a playoff place. A draw will be enough to make it into Thursday's draw. Eamon, a win is a win.
A win is a win.
But it was an endurance test in the second half, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think Ronnie summed it up well. We won it early on. Our attitude was good. We forced the pace, and we got tight on them in their own half, and they forced them to make mistakes. But I'm glad I wouldn't have got up at 5:30 a.m. as I'm going to do tomorrow to watch it, because we didn't pass the ball well. We didn't keep possession as much as we should have, and moved them around the field. And in the second half, we didn't make much
but I mean,
progress.
the reality surely is that they were brutal, and therefore they were 2 goals up. They knew full well they weren't going to be beaten, so inevitably they took their foot off the gas.
Well, they didn't play well, but no, is
it more than
it shouldn't
that,
happen. It shouldn't happen, but it's understandable. I think they knew that once we got 2 goals ahead of them, there was no way they were going to score 2 goals. And they could have controlled the game a little bit better and make best use of the 2 goals to invite these fellas on. If you're not going to be invited on, you're just going to keep the ball. So we gave it away a little bit too often at times. But even in the second half, despite playing well, there was a couple of good chances as well. So I think you go back to the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, where they set the stall out well, actually won the game at that time. I think the referee could have blown up and everybody could have gone home after that.
You'd have been delighted to, would you?
Well, it wasn't great to watch, was it?
What went wrong, Liam, in the second half? Was it just complacency?
Well, the game was over. I think the Irish team knew that if they didn't do anything stupid, they were never going to score. But I said to you at half-time, these guys just don't give up. You know, 2-0 for them against the Republic of Ireland is a decent result.
Yeah.
They have pride, and they ran around, and they were annoying, and they fouled, and you know, if I had been playing out there tonight, and I would have had one eye on the game on Tuesday night, and I would say, well, I'm not going to go mad here because I'm liable to get hurt. You know, the way the Andorrans were steaming into challenge.
And you think that would have preoccupied a lot of the Irish
players?
Well,
I did, but like John, I think we didn't administer the play at all in the second half. I would have liked to see them keep the ball at the back in midfield, have the Andorrans chase it a bit, and consequently open them up in defence. I think we did it twice maybe in the second half, and we should have had another couple of goals.
We'll have to play a lot better on Tuesday, Bill, and we'll have to keep the ball, pass the ball a lot better than we did tonight.
There's different circumstances, though.
Yeah, I mean, Ronnie
different circumstances.
But there's nothing really. Is there anything at all to be learned out of tonight's game?
Well, not really. No. I mean, you can, say that Slovakia just won there by a single goal. Russia won 2-0 there with a dodgy penalty, I think, in the equation. So,
but learned in what way, Bill? What do you mean learned? Is there anything to be learned from the game? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I mean, in terms of Tuesday, like in terms of...
Well, no, I don't think so. I think once we got the work done in the first 20 minutes, our eyes were firmly on Tuesday, and so were Trapattoni's. So, no, in a word, no, there was nothing really.
Well, I think there's a problem, because our last game, 2 games, against Slovakia and Russia at the Aviva, we've been passed off the pitch for long stretches of the game. And Armenia, I think, will play a similar style, and they'll pass us off the pitch. So there is something that we should have been doing tonight, which is...
No, there is things to be learned from those 2 games.
From those 2 games, yeah.
Absolutely, but not from tonight.
No, but there was, like, when Shay Given had the ball often in the match, second half, he was prepared. Defenders pushed out. Instead of coming back and getting the ball and passing away forward, like Ward should have done, and John O'Shea, Shay was pushing them forward and lumping it up to put pressure on their back 4. Now, I don't think that will do against Armenia. So I would have not been satisfied with that element of our style of play tonight.
But aren't we going to play a very cautious... we only need a point against Armenia. Now, therefore, we're going to play a very conservative, cautious game.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to be in. You know, there's always the danger that you play a cautious game in the last few minutes, the other team nicked a goal, and you're out of the qualifying situation. So it's a difficult one, but I don't think much is going to change, Bill. I think our team will be the same. I think our tactics will be the same. and we'll see.
But can I ask you, lads, to look at the question of a cautious game, because the Armenian team have scored 21 goals.
Yeah.
That's a lot more than we've scored.
And 8 in their last 2 matches.
Yeah,
correct.
It's very good for Armenia. But first of all, to go back to tonight, I don't think it really has any bearing on Tuesday's game. I think we could have done things better. But to be fair to the players tonight, like what could have been, in all our minds, a fairly difficult game turned out to be an easy game.
Very easy.
Mainly because they went about it in the right way, Bill. Going into Tuesday, I think I would have worries about Tuesday.
You would?
Oh, yeah, definitely, because Armenia have come onto form. They've scored a lot of goals. We haven't dominated teams at home in the way that we might have done. But the only good thing is we need a draw. We need a draw to go through. And the way Trapattoni definitely sets it up, Bill, we're always going to be difficult to beat.
Yeah.
And I'd say that again. I think there'll be a lot of nervy stuff, but I think I don't think we'll be.
See, you know what worries me though, John? I mean, you made the point, or maybe it was you, Liam, I don't know, that in the last home game we froze. The Irish team froze. Now, given what's at stake, there's a huge amount at stake at Tuesday. Is it possible that we'll freeze again?
Well, I'm not so sure that we...
Or that we'll curb our natural instincts to such an extent?
Well, we haven't... What natural instincts, Bill? We've curbed our natural instincts for a long time, so there's nothing going to be new in that. And that's the way I see it. You know, I don't think we actually... Maybe we froze a bit against Slovakia, but I think it's the way we play anyway. When we played Cyprus in Croke Park, and they had more of the ball than us.
That's right.
Now, I would be more worried if we needed a win on Tuesday night. I think the team will be set up that they could get the draw with a lot of nervy moments and not a lot of excitement, I don't think, from the Irish point of view.
There's a good example. Seamus Coleman, playing for Everton in the Premier League, a really outstanding young footballer. Now, Ward is suspended. We need a right back for the game on Tuesday. Move John O'Shea to left back, put Seamus Coleman in at right back, and let him play the way he can play for Everton, which is going forward.
Yeah, but if he wasn't even on the bench tonight, it's just highly unlikely.
But that's my point. My point is this setup is wrong. If you're keeping someone of that talent off the bench tonight, he should be starting. Should have started tonight. Should start on Tuesday, because he's the kind of offensive player, a real quality player that we need, and that would make a difference against Armenia, in my opinion. You can ask the lads what they think. Now, Keith Fahey's another player. He's a good footballer. He uses the ball very well. He's got a football brain. We need him on Tuesday night.
We won't get him, though.
There's no point in... If you play for a draw against Armenia, in my opinion, they'll beat us. If we play for a draw.
Liam, you know...
I would agree with Eamon if we were starting to come. I don't think he's going to change now, Eamon.
No, I know, but that means... But, John, you have to do the right thing, John.
No, but the right thing was, in my opinion, was to play from those people from the start. I don't think he'd be right now to actually change what he's believed in all along. Okay. I think it's last match, Eamon, I think it's too late in the day.
Probably in his judgment, it's too dangerous to, I suspect.
To him, it'd be experimenting.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
This should have happened... If it was going to happen, it should have happened in the first games or the first 2 games. I don't think it's going to happen now.
Yeah, you know him better than anybody else, Trapattoni, and give us an indication of what his mindset is going to be for Tuesday.
Well, he'll be delighted with the result tonight. All he cares about is the result, as we all know. So he'll be delighted with that. He'll be also delighted the fact that...
he needs only a point, is it?
He needs only a point, although he'll be disappointed maybe that Slovakia couldn't have beaten Russia, but there you go. That was probably always going to be the case. So he'll be pleased that he only needs a point. But he'll do his homework very, very thoroughly on the Armenians. As we all know, they're in great form. They're scoring lots of goals. But we must remember that we beat them in Armenia. You know, a potential banana skin, we beat them in Armenia.
But the point was made to me in one of the programmes, one of the highlights programmes, that they were a very talented young team on the way up. And the point was made that today they're a much, much better team than they were when they played Ireland the first time.
But, you know, the talented young team they may be, but the pressure's all on them to come to Lansdowne. They have to come to Lansdowne now, or the Aviva Stadium, and win against us. They have to win, and the draw's no good to them. So I think we're in for a fascinating game. But like John said, there will be no changes. It will be the same team. it'll probably be Kelly coming in at right back and John O'Shea moving to left back.
So
there is no question of him putting Coleman into the team or Fahy into midfield.
Or McCarthy or anybody like that.
No, nothing like that, Bill. And he'll live or die by his beliefs, you know. And at the moment, after that Russia defeat in the Aviva Stadium, the group looks good for us because we would have taken that.
But you know what?
After that Russian defeat, Bill, we would have taken this situation.
Oh, of course. But you know what worries me? All the teams we've played against, including the Russians, and we got a miracle draw in Moscow, everybody made the point that we're completely and utterly predictable. Now, the Armenians will know how to play us and would probably have the creativity.
But predictable we may be, but we've still got the points on the board.
Barcelona are predictable, Bill. But the point is...
They're predictably unpredictable.
Yeah, no, well, they are. I mean, the point is that you can't win your home matches against decent teams unless you pass the ball well, and unless you set up properly. We're not set up properly, and we don't pass the ball well, so we're at risk on Tuesday night. That would be my opinion.
We'll come back to that in a moment.
But we might not be set up to beat teams, if we haven't. But we're also set up not to be beaten.
Yeah.
Like the fact is, this is the last match of the group, and we need a draw.
And you'll be pretty sure we'd get one, John.
Well, the way the team is set up, the way you see,
they went to Slovakia, John. They got 4 against Slovakia. These guys scored 4 goals in Slovakia.
All right, listen, lads, leave it there for the moment. We'll be back to that in a second. But we've got an interview now with Aidan McGeady. He's talking to Peter Collins. He is, of course, the 3-man of the match.
The man of the match this evening is Aidan McGeady, and we're joined by one of Ireland's most loyal supporters down through the years, Davy Keogh, well known for his Ireland flag. Davy Keogh says hello, and he's been selected by 3 to make the man of the match presentation. So, Davy, you present to Aidan McGeady. We've had such a fine game this evening. Well done, Davy. And well done to Aidan McGeady. Aidan, first of all, are you going to try and claim that goal?
They're giving it to me, yeah. I mean, I'd need to see the replay, but I can't really remember. I just remember the shot and then deflection going in, but I mean, I'll take it, of course, if they're giving it to me.
And of course, all importantly, it contributed to the result. We came needing the 3 points and we got them. I suppose that's what's most important on the night.
Yeah, of course. I mean, everybody was, say apprehensive before the game because when it's a game we know we had to get 3 points from and nothing less. And obviously the same come up with the Armenia game. I don't obviously know the Russia score yet, but I'd imagine they probably won. But it's down to us if Russia come first place, it's down to us to cement that second place, either playoff or hopefully straight through.
Yeah, well, it looks like the playoffs are our option now, and of course the good news is a draw will do us against Armenia on Tuesday.
Well, I mean, we go into every game looking to win, so Armenia are on a good run of form at the minute, but it just shows you. I mean, everybody was saying after a 1-0 win in Armenia the first game, that was a horrific result. But it just shows you now it's turned a little bit. But it's going to be a tough game on Tuesday. But one we want to take 3 points from.
Yeah, well, Aidan, well done this evening, and best of luck on Tuesday. Well done, thank you.
Right, it's time now to take a break. There's more reaction and analysis coming up afterwards.